So I would like to take you to a little journey with me. So just sit back and imagine the following. Imagine you're sitting in a tent with your family. Maybe your wife is holding a newborn baby in her arms. Maybe your husband is desperately trying to find something to eat for you. Or maybe your children are crying because they're so scared. You're sitting in your so-called home, surrounded by 7,000 other people that are in the same situation than you. You're in a camp that was built for 650 people. You live in the bush next to rubbish and animals like snakes, rats, and insects. You have barely access to running water, showers, toilets, or electricity. After 2 years, you're still sitting there in the same position, in the same tent, with the same people around you, and nothing has changed, except one thing. Everything got even worse. And even though you have lost your dignity, at least you can tell yourself that your family is safe from war. You can't wait to continue your way. But you can't. You can't until they accept your case, or you will otherwise be deported back to where you came from. How long is it still going to take? And is this the Europe that you were expecting it to be? So dear virtual listeners, we're all experiencing COVID-19, although in very, very different ways. But I think there is one tiny detail that we can empathize with the refugee crisis. We're all waiting for something to end, and we all don't know when that will be. Well, probably you'll ask yourself, why is she telling us all these things? So my story started in 2018. I had a burnout from work. I felt useless, empty, and uninspired. I felt like my work and my life didn't have a purpose at all. I decided to leave Switzerland and went traveling. While I was traveling, I was looking for a volunteer job in Greece, and I discovered Samos. There, I was working 5 months for another NGO. And within this time, I realized pretty fast what one of the biggest needs is of refugees, and is purpose and food. Can you believe that every refugee that wants to get food in camp has to queue between 3 and 4 hours to get one meal? And even after queuing, sometimes they just tell you, sorry, there is not enough food left for you. Sometimes you get it and the date is expired, or sometimes it even contains maggots. So I decided I could offer my expertise from the food industry. And with my 2 partners, we opened our free restaurant called Project Ammonia, which means harmony. Our goal was not only to feed people, but to bring them a piece of home to Samos by cooking dishes from where they come from. We wanted to give them some dignity back and the basic human right that they are denied. Our restaurant is run by refugees for refugees. We offer meals to people who can't wait in the food line for so long. We feed pregnant women, breastfeeding women, elderly, the sick, and people with disabilities. Before the lockdown, we prepared 1,000 fresh and healthy meals a day, with a team of 50 volunteers from camp and around 5 Europeans. Additionally, we provide an educational space for our volunteers where we not only encourage them to engage with the project, but we also offer them vocational training where they can learn important work and soft skills to improve their chances of sustainable integration. We empower them. We give them responsibility and purpose because Ammonia is their restaurant. So what is going on at the moment right there on Samos? The asylum service is shut down. All the NGOs had to close as well. On the 23rd of March 2020, the camp was put into lockdown. Over the last few weeks, refugees had to queue for hours in order to get out of camp. And then on top of everything, the unimaginable happened. Last Sunday and Monday, the 26th and 27th of April, a fire started in camp. Actually, 3 fires started in camp. More than 1,000 people lost their homes. People say it took the firefighters more than 20 minutes to get there, although the fire station is just 2 minutes away from walking distance. There was no emergency shelter provided. Until now, nothing. And also NGOs that tried to distribute emergency aid were stopped by some locals and the police. COVID-19 regulations are usually forcing people all over the world to stay home, to keep social distancing, and to wash hands whenever you can. So you tell me right now, how are these people that lost everything supposed to stay home, wash their hands if there is no running water, or keep social distancing? These people need to be evacuated. We cannot ignoring this situation anymore, and we can't lock up thousands of people and deny them their basic human rights. Me, unfortunately, I'm currently stuck in Switzerland, but I can't wait for the day that I can reopen the restaurant again and go back to Samos. Because this restaurant does not only give purpose to the refugees I work with, it also did give purpose to me. And this is something that all humans need so much. So dear virtual listeners, with the current situation, there is plenty of opportunity for you to find purpose. Thank you very much for listening.